Okay, so the recording is started now, and let me shortly go through the agenda and introduce our today's speakers. So first of all, Inaki Sainz, project coordinator based in LoreTech, will present the COROB project itself. He will be also presenting challenges of two funding instruments. Through the whole application process, budget assumptions, and all the requirements will guide us Patrycja Kula, project lead from Funding Box. And the last part of our today's webinar will be the Q&A session. Will be led by Antonio Montalvo, Senior Project Manager from Funding Box. So thank you, enjoy the webinar, and Iñaki, we can start the presentation right now.
Thank you, Magda. And good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining. So today I'd like to introduce the COROB project. The COROB project is based on cooperative robotics, and I want you to keep this word in mind, cooperative. Okay, so we use AI and data in order to produce flexible production cells using this multi-robotic concept. So let me, okay, now, sorry. Okay, yeah. So the goal of the project is to develop multi-robotic solutions, and they will be based in, we are focused on arc welding processes, joining and additive manufacturing, both cases. And the idea is to make the robot cooperate between them in order to enhance the capabilities of a single robot. Okay, in order to give higher flexibility and powers to these industrial processes. So it is conceived as a global solution. We use AI, control, monitoring in order to reduce time, cost, energy, and resource consumption. But we conceive it as a global solution. Okay, not on, we are focused on arc-based processes, but the idea is to easily extend the processes to other solutions, as painting and finishing. For the validation of the project, we will be working on two semi-industrial use cases. One will be for arc welding, and the other one will be for arc-based additive manufacturing for repairing. Okay, so I will give you a few details now. I think it has some delay. Yeah, here. So from the point of view of the impact that we expect from the project, we expect the scientific impact. So we want to improve the flexibility and agility of these reconfigurable manufacturing cells, always keeping these multi-robotic cells in mind. And the idea is to empower the operator. Okay, we do not want to fully automate the process, but to make the robot help the operator and let them focus on more productive tasks, okay, to really add value. From the environmental point of view, the two pilots that we're working on, for the first pilot, it will be the reduction of fixtures and scrap ratio. Since we are using multi-robots, we do not need jigs or fixtures anymore. So this is a reduction. And for the second second pilot, sorry, since high added value parts will be repaired instead of manufactured from scratch, we are reducing the resource consumption. And we believe that using the COROB solution it will be beneficial from the European industrial community in order to regain the leadership throughout the complete supply chain. And just to give you a small hint of what we are working on, you can see the process that we are conceiving for the COROB project. Sorry, so we always keep these three step process. So we will have some pre-process activities where we will use the AI, we will use vision. There are some data analysis as well. Then during the joining, this is for joining, but it could be also applied, is directly applied to repairing as well. We will use control plus AI, vision for closing the loop, and data analytics, of course, and same for post-processing for quality assurance. We are working on the development of a new platform concept based on asset administration cells, and all the traceability of all the manufacturing is guaranteed by a digital product passport that, in fact, we will explain later. Okay, and as you see, the human operators take a key role here in all the project. So let's see if I can, yeah. So just to give you a small details, so a bit better understanding of the use cases, the first pilot will be the multi-robot cooperative welding. As I said, we will have 3 robots in a multi-robotic cells. The idea is to do jigless welding. So there will be 2 manipulator robots, as you can see in this small figure. Each of them will grasp a part, and it will face them one next to the other, and a third robot will weld them together. This is especially interesting in high mix, low volume manufacturing processes, which in fact it is a trend for European manufacturing processes right now. And in order to control the perturbances that are applied during the welding processes. So here, the main challenge, one of the main challenges, is the controlling the position of the gap between the welded parts. This will be powered by a reinforcement learning-based adaptive impedance control. Okay. If we move to the second use case, we will apply the same concept, but to another problem. What we want to do here, as I said before, is to repair high added value pieces. So we will have 2 robots in this case. The main robot will be for the robot for the processing robot. It will have a one arc welding torch as an end effector, and we will have an auxiliary robot for all the auxiliary tasks, such as preheating of the substrate. It will have the vision system for quality assurance, also for height control, and so on. And we don't want to make them simply sequentially actuate, but we want to make them really cooperate between them. Okay, so this is the main difference. So this is the use cases, and here I want to say this is the contribution of the consortium of the COROB project, but we want to enhance the capabilities of our robot cells and the solution of the COROB project with this with the contribution of the open code, with some challenges that will be detailed later. So I think that was all from my side.
Thank you, Iñaki. I will go to the next slide, and I will take 2 minutes to show you our video COROB in a nutshell. But please just confirm with me that you can see my screen. I guess we can all see the screen, and I will play the video now. In the heart of our manufacturing industries, challenging so much. Traditional methods falter as the demand for customized products grows, revealing a critical need for a new era of flexibility and efficiency. Imagine a future where these challenges are not just theoretical. COROB aims to revolutionize manufacturing with a flexible, cooperative, by integrating advanced inspection, transforms industrial processes, enhancing efficiency while reducing time, cost, energy, and resource consumption. The start of the horizon That kickstart in October 2023 with the aim of leveraging sophisticated data acquisition platform, turning vast amounts of data into actionable insights. Consider first that COROB's here, traditional jigs are replaced with a dynamic, cooperative multi-robotic system. Two manipulators precisely position workpieces, seamlessly integrating with a welding robot for unmatched flexibility and efficiency. In our second use case, COROB tackles tooling repair using a multi-robot cell with WAM technology. This 8DOF system, enhanced by 2DOF rotary table and auxiliary, repairs complex geometries, integrating 3D scanning and other cutting-edge technologies for comprehensive tool refurbishment. Demonstrates its technological prowess, but also its strategic approach to addressing the manufacturing industry's most pressing needs. As we forge ahead, this serves as a testament to the transformative for smarter, more sustainable, and infinitely adaptable.
Okay, I seen that there is a comment that the quality of the sound is quite poor. If not, you can see our video on the website coropproject.eu and learn more. Now I will go back to the presentation. In just a second. Okay. And my name is Patricia Kula, and I'll be presenting you the open call requirements and all the details about it. So the time is ticking. We would like for you to remember that 8th of July, it's the last day at 5 Brussels time, where you can apply to our COROB open call. And we really encourage you to do so. After the deadline, it will not be possible to update any information or modify your proposal application after the deadline 8th of July. So what is actually COROB about? So the purpose of this open call is to integrate and test the innovative solutions within the COROB projects framework, right? We aim to enhance the efficiency and flexibility for the welding-based manufacturing processes. We are launching one open call aiming to fund up to 2 million euro and select up to 15 external solutions that are eligible for funding. Within this funding, we have two funding instruments. First, it's solution to challenges, and the second one we have its experiment for enabling technologies for digital services. So the first funding instrument is to aim to develop the technical solutions covering the use cases challenges that later on our coordinator will present to you, to be further integrated and validated in the project use cases that have been presented by Iñaki before. The second funding instrument aims to develop the digital service answering to the challenges, and again we will present you later. In the use cases areas and with the data acquisition platform of COROB project. Here on the next slide, you can see who are we looking actually for. So we have divided for two funding instruments. For the first funding instrument, solution to challenges, you can apply for up to 150,000 euros and 10 beneficiaries will be selected. So now what's the actually scope of this funding instruments is to add new capabilities on the top of the project use cases. The type of applicants that can apply for the first funding solution, funding instrument, are single applicants, are the technology developers or integrators. So you need to be an SME or a startup. Other types of companies can apply and join the program, but wouldn't be granted with funding. Only technical support, which will last for first funding instrument 12 months. So let's go to the second funding instrument, experiments for enabling technologies for digital services. So for how much actually can you apply? It's up to 100,000 euros and 5 beneficiaries will be selected. The scope of this funding instrument is to test and integrate technologies to provide digital services applicable in the project use cases. And now the type of applicants are the same as in the first funding instrument. So you need to be a single applicant, you have to be technology developer or integrator, and you have to be SME or a startup. Again, other type of companies might apply and join the program, but they wouldn't be granted with funding, only technical support. And the technical support will last 9 months. Now, what will we offer? We've mentioned funding support for the two funding instruments. We do offer you technical support within your support program that will last again 12 and 9 months to elevate your TRL and make a successful use case. Within this support program, we also will be providing a business support, business mentoring plan that you will be developing during this support program to make a self-sustainable business framework and create new market opportunities. Now I will go quickly to section how to apply, and I will actually go on the website and show you the guide and documents where you can find all the documents, the help desk where you can ask questions, and the actually application form where you can apply for your experiment. So let's go to the website. As you remember, this is our website, project website, corobproject.eu. And here you can find all the information. However, in a tab Open Call, if you click, there is information about the open call and the button that leads you to actual landing page where you can apply. So it is well connected. If you do not remember this link, corobolcfunding.com, you can always find it on our website. So here it's the landing page with the application for where you can actually apply and you can find all the information. I will quickly go to guide and documents that we have, which are the documents that will help you to get the better understanding and requirements for the application. Here you can find the guide for applicants, the must read when you want to apply to our open call. So when you click here, you are given the guide for applicants, and let's dive into table of contents. So what we actually giving you here, it's the basic info. What do we offer, the admissibility and eligibility criteria, and how we will later evaluate your proposal, our support program and payments agreements, how to contact us, final provisions, and extra hints. I will not go through the whole guide for applicants because it would be just too much. However, later I will give some annotations to it. The second most important document, it's the technical guidelines. Here you can find a description, description of 2 funding instruments. Every single challenge, it is well described, and showed and presented in here. All the informations about technicalities you can find in here. The next document that is that you need to provide within your application form, it's the budget template. Later on in the budget template, Antonio will give you a better understanding how to propose the best budget. We will talk later. Here on the website, we also have included frequently asked questions. So those are questions that you might have, and there are already answers. We have a pool of 34 questions. So for example, we have been asked, what is an SME? Here you can find definition of the SME, small medium enterprise, and the detailed information to check on the EU recommendation site. So what is a startup? It is also included in here that startups should employ less than 10 people and less than 3 years had attracted more than 50,000 early stage private sector investment and has demonstrable sales growth over 50% per annum. So I will get back to our documents. What else you can find on our website? Here is the work plan in Gantt. This also has to be uploaded on our application form. We also have included application form as a template for you to work. However, please remember and keep in mind that this is the only primarily working file. You have to actually apply on our website. And now I would like to show you the application. Here, there is a button, apply now. So let's go through apply now. We can start a new application. And a couple of operational things in here. You can add a contributor, so you can add actually a person that would like to that you would like to share within your company. Of course, the application form. Here you can see the history and questions with the stars. Remember that they are mandatory to fill. Without this, your application will not be evaluated. So let's go through the basic informations where you you have to give project title, acronym, all the general informations. Let's go to the legal information. Here, it's more of what type of entity you're applying and all the information about your organization. The next, very important, excellence, impact, implementation sections. So those three are criteria that will be evaluated later on by 2 independent evaluators. So in the excellence, you should provide the information on the innovation, and everything is actually well described in here. The same goes for impact and implementation. Next section is the statistical question, ethical issues, declaration of honor that you need to answer. And the last, processing of personal data. If you are, if you would like to get more information about your processing data, here is the link, how it is actually being processed. Okay, so let's go back to our landing page, and another tab, very important for us and for you when you are will be applying, it's the help desk. So I'll get back to the presentation right now. Okay. So here, the help desk. Now, actually, you can scan and this QR code, and it will lead you to Discord, where we are asking all when you can ask all possible questions. We will be answering you very shortly, and if you would like to know how to get to there, you need to accept the invitation, choose your interests, what are you interested in, and please remember to select the COROB project from the list of the project. If you are not given that choice, select your project on the diamond, and the bulb icon will stand for COROB. So a little bit about the eligibility criteria. We will check your admissibility and eligibility before the deadline, 8th of July at 5 process times via our application at corobolcfunding.com. So the entities have to be established, the member states of the European Union and territories or associated countries. In these two documents, you can find formal documents who are the countries that actually can apply in our open call. Okay. The support program. The support program is the lump sum method that simplifies the expenses, the expense settlement in Horizon Europe project. And it requires the demonstration of with the alignment of the milestones rather than the detailed accounting documentation like invoices. So this, simply speaking, means that you will be carefully assessed during your progress, and the quality of your work during the milestones, deliverables, KPIs, and the ethical recommendations will be set in the first individual mentoring plan. So this will be your stage 1 at the beginning of the program. So the lump sum does not exempt you from collecting the documentation. You can still do so to confirm the costs under fiscal regulations. The second stage will be digital for first solution development, and for second funding instrument, digital service development. The third station in both of the instruments will be the validation. So you will have to provide us the final report. And now I will give the floor to Antonio to tell you a little bit more in detail about the budget estimation.
Thank you, Patricia, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending this webinar. So, yeah, the budget is something that is very important in the proposal phase, because not only you need to submit all your technical information about the excellence plus the impact, but in the implementation part, you will be asked at the end of this part to upload a budget estimation. And in the budget estimation, I will show you in a while when you click in the website to the budget template, and it'll explain you a little bit how it works. But it is especially important in this project because, as my colleague Patricia was mentioning, the funding you are going to receive depends on the legal status of your entity. If you are an SME, then you will receive 70% of the funds you are going to declare. If you are a startup, you are going to receive 100%. And if you are another type of company, you will receive some technical support, but not funding. So it is very important that you include in the budget the different concepts that can be budgeted and funded. And this is something that it's in accordance to the Horizon Europe Marie Slodowska actions. And basically, you will be able to include personal costs. And in the personal costs, you will have to describe what is the position of the persons that are involved in the project, what are the roles, what are the dedication, because you might have some person, or one person, or different people involved, but with a certain level of dedication, not 100% of the time, and maybe 20%, etc. And then we also need the gross monthly salaries of these personnel involved, so that in the end, you can, you will be able to include the total personnel cost. The gross monthly salary includes, as the word says, all the concepts included in the salary. It includes the social security, so anything that for the company is a cost for the person who is working in the company. Then the following concept is the mobility. Of course, you might need during the project or the experiment to make some trips and have some travel and subsistence expenses. And this is something you need also to include in your budget, an estimation of that. And there are two other categories that can be also foreseen. One is the purchases of equipment or other goods and services. We consider that for such an experiment, you will need for sure to buy some equipment or to buy some goods from external providers. And this is something that you need to estimate and describe in the template, why and what and for what, okay? And then you can also subcontract certain parts of the project, but bearing in mind that this subcontracting has a limit. It means that you cannot subcontract important parts of the project, but just imagine a typical example, you want to create a website or something like that, then of course you can subcontract that. So this is something that you need to estimate. In the end, you will have to add 20% of the overheads to all the items before mentioned, except the subcontracting. And this is something that is standard in any Coriolis in Europe program. And the addition of all of that will constitute the eligible costs. The eligible costs. So imagine that the total is 100. Let's suppose we are talking about the first funding instrument number one is 150,000 euros, the lump sum. And if you are an SME, the total sum of all those costs should be 150,000 because you are ready to receive 100%. If you are an SME, the total eligible costs have to be 150K divided by 70%. So in the end, it has to be a larger number. Actually, the number that you need to declare as an eligible cost is included in the, you can find that in the guide for applicants, the exact number, but I can tell you that for funding instrument one is 150 divided by 70%, and for the funding instrument two, it would be 100K divided by 70%. So maybe, Patricia, if we can go to the template. So you go to the guides and documents, then you can download this budget template. You will have to fulfill this template and then upload the template, the resulting template in PDF, not in Excel. Here you have an Excel file. Okay, so if, as I say, the personal cost, you need to include the person months and the average monthly rate. The average monthly rate is, as I said, the gross salary, the gross monthly salary. It depends on the country, it depends on the type of company. And then you include the person months, and then you will get automatically calculated the value of this, because it's the multiplication of the person months multiplied by the average monthly rate. How you can calculate the person months, it has to be the hours that are devoted. You have to estimate the hours devoted by your personnel, and divided by 150 or 160, depending on the country. But I would say more 150. So you divide that and you get the number of person months. And then in the justification of cost in the column E, you have to detail the role. So if you have more than one person involved in the project, I would recommend you to include as many roles as people are, as the number of people involved, so that you can describe the roles of the personnel, because they can have different person months and they can have different average monthly. And then for the other direct costs, you will include here in the row for the number of trips, the person, but in the end, the total cost that you consider or you estimate for trips. Then again, for providing access to scientific publications, this is a type of cost that, if any, it is not mandatory, you can just skip that. Consumables, equipment and costs, subcontracting costs, consumables and equipment costs, and even cost for providing access is what I mentioned. It is the other goods and services category. And then after that, the row number 9 is automatically the result of multiply 25% times the different columns before, except subcontracting costs. And then you will have the total estimated budget per third party. And as you can see in column E, there is a note that for funding instrument 1, the amount has to be equal to 150,000 euros if you are a startup, and if you are an SME, it has to be exactly 214,285.71. Of course, this amount can be higher, but it has to be at least, because if it is higher, in the end, you will be cut to this 214, and you will receive 150,000. So we will consider that the rest of the money is provided by you. But the maximum amount that you can receive is 150,000. And if you are an SME, you need to at least provide 214 as eligible. And actually, below you can see that the requested, there is a difference between the total estimated budget that you consider, and then the requested financial support estimated, which, as I said, is a cut between the maximum. So if you are an SME, it will be 214 if you are in funding instrument 1, and if you are in funding instrument 2, it will be 142. But this is not a requested; it will be the maximum eligible cost. But the requested financial support, it will be either 150 or 100,000, 150,000 or 100,000. So if you have any questions, of course you can ask, and also through our help desk, you can also ask as many questions as you like. I give back the floor to Patricia.
Thank you. Share my presentation one more time. Just a second. Okay, thank you, Antonio, so much for this detailed description of the budget. Now we will go to the challenges, and I give the floor to Iñaki.
Yes, thank you, Patricia. Okay, so now I'd like to get a little bit more technical. So I'll try to give you a view to better understand what we are asking for the challenges and what do we expect from your contributions. So for the first instrument, we have identified 6 challenges that will really contribute to the project. And the first one is a picking solution for AI. What we are expecting here is for first use case number 1, the one that I explained about cooperative welding. We need a picking solution based on a vision system. I expect most probably a camera that identifies the parts that we need to weld and send their position to a robot. The robot is out of the scope. It will be provided by the consortium. So it's just a vision system. The parts to be welded, they will be randomly distributed in a box. So they will mainly consist of plates and tubes of different sizes and thicknesses, and they will be metallic. It will be steel, but here I think the challenge is one of the challenges might be the lighting conditions. So you can see here in bold. Because this will be it's not an industrial facility because it will be in LORTEC, which is a research an RTO, but still we do not have control lighting conditions. So there could be reflections for science. So as I said, the concept here is we want a vision system that detects these parts and send their position to the robot. Only reachable parts. Okay, here also another challenge could be if the parts are randomly distributed. It might be the case that some parts are not reachable because they are occluded or really next to a wall or under another part. So for those parts that are reachable or accessible, we simply want to detect their position for the robot to pick them. Challenge number 2. Okay, no, there is a small delay. Challenge number 2 is modular reapers. We want someone to provide 2 reapers. This is also for use case number 1. So the idea is that these grippers pick the plates and tubes that I mentioned before, and that the robot can put them together. Here, some of the details that may affect is that we will be directly welding the parts. So we expect the grippers to be exposed to relatively high temperatures. Also, during the welding process, some forces appear because in the end, during the welding process, a lot of energy is being induced, and so some forces appear. So the grippers needs to withstand at least 45 kilos. This could be, depending on what's the concept, they could be shear forces or axial forces. As I said, it depends on the concept. We are open to different approaches like magnetic or pneumatic, mechanical as well. We are really or electrical. I mean, we are really open. There are some limitations though in the maximum pressure and the maximum voltages and so on. So you have all these very detailed technical details in the technical guidelines document. Just two more comments. We expect or we would like, this is more a wish, we would like the grippers to be as flexible as possible. It would be nice to, I mean, it's necessary that we grasp the tubes and plates, but it will be really nice to be able to pick also some of the differences. So if you have a very flexible concept that you want to bring here, this is, I really encourage you to bring it here. And finally, this is an arc-based process, so we need to create an arc, and for this we need a rounding connection. Usually this is made with in the jig itself, and the manipulator robots do not have to worry about this. We do not have jigs here though, so the rounding connection needs to be through the gripper. Okay, the next is layer height control. As you may know, during the one processes, so I'm referring to second use case. It is very difficult to predict the height of the layer that is being applied. So if you applied one layer after another and you make a small mistake in the prediction, this mistakes integrates itself. So in the end, it might not be negligible. So in one case, it makes that that you are not constructing the layer as expected, and in the other case, in the worst case, you may have even a collision. So in order to reduce this, we are expecting on a layer height control, and the idea is simply to measure the height of the layer that is being applied, and to command the robot to control this height and keep it constantly. Okay, the technical keyword here, it's in the standoff control. Okay, so the solution is to be mounted on a robot. The project is always about robotics. And as I said, we need to measure the standoff distance with an accuracy of 0.02 millimeters, which I believe won't be a big challenge for all of you. And we want that the solutions that are brought here into the COROB project can be industrialized. So we were setting a cost limit of 10,000 euros just for integrality and industriability. Okay, and we want the latency not to be exceeding 200 milliseconds. Okay, so next is next is a preheating system that it's integrated in the robot. As you may also know, during one processes, use case number 2 as well, there is a cracking effect on the first layer if the substrate is not warm enough. So a solution to correct this is to preheat this substrate before starting the repairing in this case. So what we are expecting here, it's a preheating system that can be integrated in a robot. It will be, I'm sure this will be integrated on a collaborative robot, so the payload is limited. The solution cannot exceed 3 kilos. Okay, also for safety reasons, the temperature in the robot's flange cannot exceed 45 degrees for the integrity of electronics. Also, just for you to give you also a hint of the sizes that we are of the size of the parts that we are trying to repair. There will be from a small part from 40 to 40 millimeters to medium large sizes of 500 times 200 millimeters. Okay, they will be made of steel alloys. Okay, so as before, this is arc welding, so we are mainly working on steel. Here, also as before, we are looking for a technical solution. We are not looking for flames or nothing like this. Okay, what was that? Okay. Okay, so also we are looking for you to impress us with these amazing solutions that you may bring. Let's see. Okay, so next we want advanced sensors for NDT and quality assurance. Here we will leave it a little bit more open than before. What we are looking for is the different solutions, or maybe not only sensors, but the complete technological solutions. That could be optical cameras, infrared, ultrasounds, eddy currents, whatever technology you are using to detect defects, both surface and subsurface, in welding beds and in additive manufacturing processes. Okay, so here we want to detect surface imperfections like cracks, porosity, and so on. Or subsurface could also this could also be the case, I don't know, with thermography or whatever other technologies that you may be using. Okay, and finally, if you also have solutions for monitoring the melt pool while welding, these solutions are also welcome here. Okay, and yeah, as a minor comment, if possible, if the solution can give online data during process data, I would call it, then that will be more interesting for us. Okay, and I think this is the last challenge for the first instrument. What we want is a measuring system that can compare the obtained or the manufactured final part with the original or theoretical part that is intended. During the welding processes, and we will be welding really thin plates, it is quite common to that some deformations appear. Also, especially if we are not able to really maintain the gap, or if we are not able to keep the pieces in their position correctly. So we want to measure these deformations, or these deviations. So we just want a 3D scanner or similar that can make a point reconstructions and finally provide a CAD file, but not only provide a CAD file, but also do the assessment. Okay, so we want to compare the two files and give some output to see if the solution is correct or not, based on some rules that we can determine together. Optionally, for the scanner, typically it's a discrete solution, so it only takes points in a few positions. So it would be nice if the solution can itself suggest also what are these positions for the robot to go to these positions and to put the piece for that. Okay, if it can suggest this position, that would be also amazing. Just as a hint of the size, we are looking for a small to big size, I would say relatively big parts, almost up to 1.5 meters, almost. I think this is maybe not very. Most of the pieces would be smaller, but we may have some parts here. And as it happened before, same installation as before. So this is an industrial installation. They will be signs, reflections, and control lining conditions. Okay. If we move now to the second funding instrument, this is more for about technologies for digital services. So the first one I mentioned before, it's a digital product passport. We want to have traceability of the manufacturing processes that we are doing. So we would like to have here a flexible data product passport. Okay, we want a flexible solution. As I said, the COROB project is focused on ARC-based processes, but we believe that this solution can be extended to other manufacturing processes, and I think the digital product passport should be in the same line as well. So this being said, we just want we are open to use different identifiers, and we can discuss this with the beneficiary or during the project. And we will require some storage and access control. So where is this data located? And finally, some system for encoding. Okay, we will not set any technology for the digital product passport. I think in some other INFODAY blockchain were mentioned. This is a possibility and maybe the most prominent technology, but we will not set it ourselves. Okay, so you are open to suggest the solution that you consider most interesting, or the one that you are working with. Okay. We will also require a friendly user interface. We want a single user interface that can be easily customized for both use cases. Okay, and here I think what the challenge really is, or maybe not the challenge, but the more the newest concept is that we want to empower the operator, as I said before. So, and especially operators that have not a technical background, or they don't even have a training. So for non-technical operators, we were thinking of solutions like gameful learning tutorials, or even maybe also when giving errors, providing solutions as well. So, okay, there has been this error during welding, please try this other solution. So this kind of tutorial concept. Okay, just a few technical requirements, like it will be web-based. We need, of course, that the information and data integration is accessed. We want real-time data monitoring. We want to consult historics, trends, as usual. We want user roles. And of course, it needs to be visually appealing, modern, clean. You know, the HMI in the end is something that the operator and everybody else takes a look into, and it is nice if all the you're doing an amazing work, but the HMI is not looking nice. You know, in the end, the impression is not so good. Okay. We do have the next challenge is about advanced algorithms for real-time interpretation of multimodal data. This is also related to quality inspection, quality assessment, I would say. It might be similar to the challenge that we mentioned before, but it is not. What we were looking for before is in the first instrument is a technological solution that with a sensor provides an output. Here, what we want is to algorithms or solutions that pick information from different sources in order to provide richer information. Okay, so this is not like, okay, let's take a sensor, you can provide the sensor, it would be welcome. But if you, for example, I don't know, if you have a solution that says, okay, you have a robot, you have a welding source, of course. Okay, let's simply give an assessment based on the welding parameters, on real-time welding parameters. Okay, this will be welcome, and it will be, in fact, really, it is one of the challenge of the topics that we list here. Same as before, we are really open to your contributions here. So this is not as maybe closed solution as before, but we do have like 4 topics that will be really welcome, with his thermal monitoring, optical monitoring, reflections using profilometers. So one of the not concerns, but parameters that we will be assessing, it's the geometrical parameters of the welding bed. So we are using profilometers in order to do so. So reflections, as I keep saying all the time, are a problem we are concerned about. And same is for welding-based monitoring, as I also already explained. Okay. And now the final challenge is a wearable vision system. This is another user interface. The first one that I explained is a conventional user interface based on a monitor. This is a wearable vision system. So we are expecting something like glasses that an operator can wear, and they can give them information in a different way. Okay, not so conventional, but still we want to empower the operator, non-technical operators. So for operators, it is not allowed to be next to the robot during welding for safety reasons. In fact, it is not possible to see the welding from the outside, also from UV radiation. So what we expect is some kind of VR or augmented reality, mixed reality, something in this line that can provide real-time information to the operator during the welding processes. Okay, so I think these were all the challenges. I tried to give an overall description, but now I think there are some questions, so maybe we can go directly.
Yes, thank you very much, Iñaki, for the technical part of the presentation. Right now is the part for your questions, and the Q&A session will be led by Antonio Montalvo, Senior Project Manager. So Antonio, I think that the first question is addressed to you. So let me read it. Experiment sections winner will be responsible to apply solutions provided by solutions to challenges.
Sorry, I couldn't hear it very well. Can you repeat that?
Yes, sure. The experiment section winners will be responsible to apply solutions provided by solutions to challenges.
Well, first of all, experiment sections winners. I don't know. I suppose that they are referring to the selected proposals, to the selected experiments. So if they apply to the funding instrument 1, which is the solution to challenges, these solutions will be applied to one of the use cases from the project. I don't know if this is what's the question, because it's a bit difficult to understand what the, if he's still, this person is still here, maybe he could let us know more of what he or she wanted to. But in principle, as I said, if you have applied to the solution to challenges funding instrument, which is the first one, and you are selected, then your solution will be integrated into one of the use cases. I don't know, Iñaki, if you would like to add something about this.
To be honest, I did not really understand the question.
Yeah. Well, that's my interpretation of the question, but it is not very clear. I don't know if they have, well, anyway, this is what I can say, that in fact, there is an integration to be done, but not only for the solutions or the applicants that will be selected in the funding instrument 1, but also in the funding instrument 2. All the experiments, at the end of the experiment, they will be integrated in one of the use cases. And for that reason, there will be, or the selected proposal, the selected applicant will be asked to get in touch and to be available for any demand that can come from the technical partners of the COROB consortium for this integration.
Okay, thank you very much, Antonio. I think that I will read the second question right now, and maybe we can come back to this later. Are 2 startup funders treated as 2-person equivalent?
Yeah, this is another question that maybe is not formulated in a very understandable way, but what I can say is the first thing, let me read what in the guide for applicants you can read as the definition of a startup in this project. So a startup refers to a tech-oriented company. It should employ less than 10 people, but more than 2 full-time equivalent staff, that has been operated for less than 3 years and has attracted more than 50K early stage private sector. So if there are 2 funders, I think we're referring to founders, 2 persons that have founded a startup. Here we are talking of just 1 startup, 1 legal entity that of course has to have, at the moment you are applying, it has to be legally established in one of the countries that Patricia was mentioning. And at this stage, you should be operating for less than 3 years, but still you need to have started the operation of this company. And you need to also have attracted at least 50K, 50,000 euros, and have more than 2 persons and less than 10 people working in the company. So if you are just 2 independent people, even if you have founded startups, you cannot go together unless there is a legal entity already established by the 2 founders, and that this company has been working less than 3 years, but of course, at least I would say 1 year, so that you can have some results in your company. I don't know if this is what it was, the meaning of the question was, or this person was asking something different. So again, if there is something from this person to clarify this question, I would appreciate it.
Okay, yes, thank you. And I think that we have here another question. For a part, how will the part that needs to be welded be labeled?
I think this is more for
Iñaki, yes.
Not for me, yes. I'm not sure which challenges this is referred to. It can be for picking solution or maybe for a digital product passport. For the first solution, we are not expecting to label the parts. The only labeling is for the digital product passport because they need to be somehow traced. So we want to trace the manufacturing process information to the labels. In this case, we are open and to discuss it with you. We are open to have a QR. We are open to have an RFID. As I said, we do not have any specific requirement or constraint here. Because I think that the question was made when I was explaining the picking solution. For this part, we are not expecting to label them somehow. So imagine that you can receive parts, plates, for example, that have a QR, for instance, I don't know, for instance, and it is bottom top, and you cannot see it from your vision system. So I'm not sure if I responded.
Thank you very much, Iñaki. Another technical question for you, I think, regarding this.
I think that related to the answer, I got a response from Akas. It's for the same question.
Okay. Yes. Sure.
So this was to make sure while gripping the part will not obstruct the welding. Yeah. Here I think there has to be some cooperation between the first challenge and second, because in the end, the picking solution will have to provide the exact position of the part, and it should tell the grip. I mean, it needs to consider the geometry of the gripper so that it is taken in a specific solution. We don't want in the end we will have then another protocol just to position the parts. So this doesn't happen, but there has to be some communication. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Iñaki. I think that another question is also addressed to you. Regarding the stationary vision system, should it be part of the solution as hardware to integrate and product to develop with integrated AI vision system, or we only develop the AI vision system and it will be provided as external third party?
The complete vision system, including let's say the camera and the processing unit, will be an external solution, as an external solution by you. So this is your contribution. So there will be a communication with the robot and the control system, the platform, and so on, in order to say, okay, these are the parts and this is the position you could grab. So if we request to take a part, the vision system could say, okay, here it is, you can pick it in this position, and so on.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me find another question. In the layer height control system, what is the accuracy of the stand of distance sensor used right now? Is it measuring the distance before or after the layer deposition?
Yes. Here, right now, the solution that we have is we only scan once to calculate to get the complete volume of the sorry, to get the cut of the complete volume that needs to be repaired. I don't remember by heart the accuracy of a sensor, but if you post this question in the Discord, I will be happy to take it and write and provide a better answer. What in principle, what we were expecting in this challenge is to have a sensor that a complete solution maybe that measures the height of the last layer. So this is after the position. If we measure it before the position, we do not get information about the first layer. So it's after the position, and here there is a time, because in one processes it's the layer needs to cool down. It's usually under 300 degrees Celsius or something like this. So there is some time to do the measurement and so on. There is a possibility. I think we should maybe analyze internally if there is a possibility to use the same sensor that we are using, because we do already have a sensor. So we could discuss this internally and give an answer. But it will be anyway. The scanning needs to happen always after the deposition.
Okay, thank you. And for a friendly user interface, is there a need to have expertise on the business side apart from the technical knowledge?
I think that if it is not required, it is not required. I mean, it will, of course, be an advantage, a competitive advantage for you, because in the end, we are only setting some requirements. The more details you provide to your proposal, it will be competitive benefit. It will be more. You will have some benefits for to be selected, but I don't think it's necessary. I mean, if you have a solution that has been applied to some other field, and you can provide this trending, you can provide these gameful tutorials, and let's say, I don't know, you have experience in railway or automotive, and you think that you can bring this concept to COROB and it can work, I think it is not necessary.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Sorry, Maria, I think there is a follow-up.
Yes.
This question from Simon.
Yes, I just wanted to read it. Okay, there is a difference between founder and employee. Founder don't need to have employment contract to work in startup. My question is, if you are treating this required 2% as employees hired on full-time work contract.
Okay, so now I think I understand better the question. So I think you are talking about one startup, one company that has 2 people working in the company. Now, the definition of a startup doesn't make a difference or doesn't require that these people working in the company have an employee, a hired contract. It can be the founders. The founders, it's sure that they don't need to have an employment contract. So that's why we are talking about full-time equivalent staff. So full-time equivalent staff, it can be a person that who is receiving the retribution or his retribution through dividends or through any other kind of retribution, and any kind of, I would say, any kind of method that you can, which you can prove that you are working full time for this company is fine for us. If you are a funder and you work 100% of your time in this startup, it's okay, even if you don't have any employment contract. Now, the thing is that there has to be at least more than 2 full-time equivalents. So I would say that you should have at least 3 people. This is 3 people working full-time in the company, independently on how, if they are an employee or they are a funder or they are whatever, you know. But reading this definition has to be less than 10 people, but more than 2 people. So I recommend you to read very carefully the guide for applicants, this definition, because this is a requirement, but not the only one. You should be working, or the company, the startup should have been founded or been operative for no more than 3 years. And also you should have attracted more than 50,000 euros from the private sector in investment, or you can demonstrate that there is a sales growth over 50% per annum. So please read it carefully, but concretely to your question, the 2 people you are mentioning are perfectly fine. Now the thing is, you should have another person as well.
Okay, thank you, Antonio, for clarifying this. Let me go back to the previous question. For the second instrument, at the end of the project, who will be the owner of the intellectual property of the solution? For instance, the algorithms for NDT analysis.
Yeah, you will be the owner of the IPRs. So in the project, we are not expecting you to provide any software. Sorry, the software is expected, of course, but we can only get the executables. So we will be happy if you want to provide everything, but we are not expecting so. Okay, so the IPR in the end will be yours, and you can exploit it as well. You can exploit. You will be the ones who will exploit it.
Yes, but I would like to add that this is correct, but also during the integration phase, after your experiment has ended, this integration to the other, to one of the use cases, this means that this IPR is yours, but you have to allow the technical partners to have access or to use some parts of this IPR for this integration. After the project COROB has ended, of course, everything will be 100% yours.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And experts, please tell us, after being selected, when will a project start? Okay,
so I don't know, Patricia, if you have the timeline there, but in any case, so the timeline is the following. Now, on the 8th of July, there is the deadline, and all the proposals we have received will be first checked if they are eligible or not. And for those which are eligible, they will be evaluated by independent experts. And after that, there will be a consensus meeting. So basically, by the end of summer, at the end of August, this will be done. First week of September, more or less, the selected proposal will be announced. And then there is a process, an internal process that we will lead a legal process, legal check, sorry, to check it that, for example, you are really a startup or you are an SME, etc. And there will be also the signature of the grant agreement. So we are thinking that the starting date for the project, your project will be around the 1st of January, I mean, the first days of 2025. I think the second question is more technical.
Yes, let me read it. Is the solution provider expected to develop a Yaskawa-specific solution, or is the consortium in charge to adapt the solution to their cell?
Sorry, I missed the voice for a few seconds and I didn't hear what is expected from the consortium. Sorry.
Okay, so let me read it again. Is the solution provider expected to develop a Yaskawa-specific solution, or is the consortium in charge to adapt the solution to their cell?
No, it is expected that the solution is, I mean, there will be a collaboration in order to have almost a plug-and-play solution for the COROB project.
Thank you, Iñaki.
Yep.
And I think that we have one more question. What is the main strategy behind of use to manipulators to fix, grab the parts for welding? A stationary fixture will be cheaper than 2 robot manipulator.
Yes, a stationary fixture will always be cheaper than 2 robot manipulators. This is clear. There is no discussion, but there is one single stationary fixture. So here the concept is in high mix, low volume production needs. So where we need to manufacture a lot of references, but in a small series. So if you only need to manufacture or weld a reference once or twice, or I would say 20 times, it is not worth it to manufacture a fixture specific for that. So the advantage of using a robot is flexibility. So if you have hundreds of references, it makes no sense to have hundreds of fixtures or jigs. So if you can have a robot that can adapt to these references, and it's simply changing a program, or in fact this can be automized. So this is the situation and the context in which COROB makes sense. And I think the manufacturing is more, it's coming into personalization more and more. So this is a current trend right now.
Okay, thank you very much, Iñaki. I don't see any other question from our participants. If you have some, please ask here on chat. And experts, do you want to add something, maybe from your side?
Nothing from my side, thank you.
Everything was said. Thank you very much. So in the meantime, please remember that you only have 2.5 weeks to submit your application. And if we don't have any more questions, let me stop the recording. Thank you very much and good luck with your application.